Welcome to this week's segment of New Media AdNetworks. This week we have guests from Frederick, Maryland, Kervin Spivey and Horace King of Jenesia1, the future of secure mobile communications. Horace and Kervin have decided to visit us here in Atlanta to tell us more about Jenesia1. Kervin?
Good evening. Jenesia1 was designed, for me when I pretty much got out of the military. It's a communication command type system. We bring to you satellite. We bring to you physical security, high-end security, and the main focus is securing our force, our nation, and providing security for everyone. The last thing is we were bringing into the future of the concepts of data service, data center service, cloud computing. We've tied the mobile systems into the data center. I'll give a prime example. What happened in Oklahoma a year ago? They had a 1 mile wide hurricane. Communication was down. We have type systems where we design where we can come to your doorsteps and say, "Well, sir, James, I can give you a smartphone and you'll be able to communicate around the world." Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. And now let's introduce Horace. He's the Chief Operations Officer for Jenesia1.
Yeah, good afternoon. One of the concepts that we have with Jenesia1 is to provide the first responders a means to communicate, for the decision makers to observe on-scene reality of what is going on with a situation, whether it be a man-made disaster or a natural disaster. The ability to communicate and to observe that situation is paramount in order to make the right decision to send out your more forces or pull your forces back. Whether you need to evacuate a neighborhood. Well, this right here system, our platform allows that commander, that leader, an opportunity and the ability to do that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Gentlemen, so let's go back to Kervin right now. Kervin, how did you come up with the idea?
Well, Jenesia1, it came up with from my military duties. I spent 20 years in the military, and during my whole tour there, I was involved with telecommunication, and I always liked tinkering with stuff. Believe it or not, I'm a country boy from North Carolina, but I'm a country boy, as you know how to get into technology. So I've gotten into technology, while I was in the military, and stayed with it. I will say that, technology seems to be amazing, and the concept is pretty much to help save lives. One major thing was, I served as a comptroller, at the Treasury Department, where I did a lot of high-level communication. And from that, when I got out the military, I just pretty much kept tinkering. So I wanted to design something. I want to do something to help our nation, our people, and I want to help save lives.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Horace, how did you come acquainted with the project?
Well, because as a security specialist in a security background, I understood the importance of having redundancy. Not all the time do I need to have my camera systems, my security system hardwired, because they can be vulnerable to an attacker or the bad person. So the means to have a wireless system that is secured is what keyed me and drew me to this product. And I think this is one of the best going security implement that is available anywhere. And because of that right there, that redundancy is what pulled me to it.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about use as far as who are your potential clients? Who could use Jenesia1?
You can, your first responders. When I say first responders, I'm talking about law enforcement personnel. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about fire personnel, the ambulance drivers. We've had two big major disasters within the last few years here. One was Katrina, One of the issues was the fact that there was lack of communications. Okay, no one could tell this police officer to go to this place or these boats to move over to this location to pick up people. That was a big problem. Well, we have a fix to that. 9/11, the attack when the plane flew into the Pentagon. Again, around the DC area, lost communications. Okay, and that was one of the findings from the report and the assessment that was done from those disasters is a means to have an ability to establish communication as quick as possible. Number one, that lets everyone's anxieties, it lessens their anxieties because now we have truth. And it might also give a chance for those people to find their loved ones. Whereas before we couldn't do that. And a lot of people got lost, a lot of people got strung out. And that is what is key to this right here. So I'm talking about your first responders, your law enforcement, your mayors, your governors, your regional reservations, wildfires out in the Midwest. This right here system provides them an ability and a means to communicate and keep everything moving like they want it to move, to control the situation.
I see. So what about, let's say, an entertainer needing security to beef up their security forces?
Well, from the entertainment perspective, you know, if you had a concert, this system, we could actually be set up, we could pull in the parking lot set up and have everything up and operational. And then go inside of that location and have a security room and pretty much can monitor what's going on outside, inside. You can bring what's inside outside, you can bring what's outside inside. And that way you can alert your authorities or people quickly. And if you need to move that person from that zone, you can move that person, him or her, very quickly to another location. And I want Horace to answer that question because he's more physical security.
Well, that deals with personnel security. When we're talking about stars, the movie stars, our singers, anyone that is a very important person. This right here system allows us to lock down a venue for them and also their residents. Now, with this right here system, I can lessen the amount of personnel I need because I can cover all of my access and egress points, and therefore I have a better security situation over that person, over their family, over their person itself, and over their property.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I hear Jenesia1 also has the ability to act as a relay point to be able to increase the signal so
yes,
that people can communicate in wider ranges.
That is a great tool, and I say it's great because remotely, you know, we can set up Jenesia1 vehicle at 2 or 3 miles out. I mean, we have radios that can communicate up to 32 miles line of sight, and you could actually physically be in another vehicle and can control the camera system from that vehicle that's downrange, and that relay can be sent back to a command location, a commander, or a someone that's in charge that's sitting at the security desk. All that information can be relayed back. The good thing about it is if we had to dispatch the police to a crime scene, you know, in that police vehicle, he will have the authority to be able to pull up on this laptop or his computer. He will know what's going on at all times. You know, he will actually see the video instead of calling back to the rear and trying to figure out what's going on. He will see everything, you know, on the spot.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sounds like it has a variety of uses. And
yes, it does. It's multiple uses with it, and it's a very flexible platform that we have because we're able to key and gear it towards the needs of the end user, whether they are in government or in the private entertainment industry. It is multiple uses and very flexible.
now, one quick question I have concerning your current client base. I heard you are doing something for a military base. Would you mind telling us just a little bit about that?
Well, as a technologist, the government and military, they come to us and say, well, we need such system to meet these standards. So what we do is go back to the board, you know, with engineers, and we design a system that will meet the standards. For example, one location, and I can't call it a location, but, you know, whenever you drive through the gates and you present your card, you know, you've been captured, your license plate has been captured. Even when you go on that location, you've been watched and you've been monitored. Or even when you go outside of the location, you've been watched and monitored. It gives the flexibility for the local police to have a good feeling of that he has video coverage and he'll know exactly what's going on. It gives them a early warning perception, so that they will know how to and when to and where to dispatch the people. We could take this vehicle and actually be on a particular base, and if there's a scene that happens where you don't have coverage, it's like Johnny on the spot. We right there on the scene, and then at the same time, that police person that's on duty, he will be able to see what's going on at all times.
Absolutely. Ounce of provision.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And not only that right there, these are days and these times that we live in, there's the danger of incidents and the modus operandi that is happening overseas with your vehicle-borne improvised explosives. We have the tendency and the possibility of some of that coming to the United States here. Well, our clients, because of what they do, the type of work that they do, they needed a system that would give them immediate response that they could load up and have it to identify certain triggers. And that's the way this system is. And again, like I said, it provides the redundancy that it doesn't have to be hardwired, that it's wireless. So it's a very rugged, highly dependable, very much reliable system that gives them, it fixed the niche.
And one thing that he mentioned, the wireless is secure wireless. It's the Philips 140-2, which is very high secure wireless. It'd be hard to intercept it unless you know what you're doing.
Wonderful, wonderful. We'd like to encourage our audience to watch some of the footage that actually shows some of the demo footage that you have provided for them to see on the website.
Okay.
And just one quick question before we wrap up. You mentioned cameras, night visibility. We'll hit that briefly. Tell me a little bit about that. Do you have the night cameras, and can you see at night with your camera systems?
Yes, we have some very high-end, some thermal stuff. Actually, we just got some new thermal that just came out that can go below 50 nm version, meaning that in the total pitch dark, total dark, or even in the daylight, these new thermal lenses that we have is very visible, and a lot of times it helps you to see. I mean, how many times have you ever seen a thermal camera where you can see someone, an image that's walking that a regular camera can't pick up? Good thing about these systems, these cameras, they have audio and they can listen. And then at the same time, if you want to be able to talk to someone, hey, get off my property, I see you. Okay, it kind of like makes them alert and stuff.
Even a car dealership could use that.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for visiting with us this week, and we thank you for tuning in and listening. And we'd like to encourage you to find out more. Would you provide the contact info?
Yes, you can visit our website, which is Jenesia1.com. It's JENESIA1.com. Or you can reach us on our phone, which is 877-860-9649, and we can be hit on the email at info@Jenesia1.com. I say again, info@Jenesia1.com.
Thank you, Mr. Kervin Spivey and Mr. Horace King. We appreciate you visiting. Thank you for listening in and tuning into this week's segment. We'll see you again next week.